Do you guys want to be a millionaire? On this episode, we are reviewing Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. Right now. So why did I pick up this book? Honestly, I saw an ad on social media of Dean Graziosi talking about it and I said, alright, might as well give it a shot. And ever since, I fell in love with him and I've been following his work. So I'm going to mention a couple of key elements that really hit home with me in the book. And the first one is actually a story that Dean talks about, and he calls it Don't Let Go of the Wheel. And what that is, essentially, he says it's a farmer waking up every morning, putting the food in the back of his farming truck and going to see the cows a couple of kilometers further. So every single morning he does that, and he does it for years and years and years. And what happens is actually he creates a rut where the wheels pass. Because he goes in his tractor, puts it in drive, and goes ahead. And then there's a rut that creates over the years. And what it refers to that is at a certain point, because he does something on such a repetitive motion in a way that he could completely let go of the wheel and he's always going to end up in the same place. And then he actually challenges the readers to ask themselves, are you in a rut? And what you can do to get out of that rut. And in fact, to get out of that rut, it's only a 2mm shift. So he uses the example once again of the farmer, saying that if he wants to change his trajectory a lot further, like we said, imagine he's 2 kilometers away and he wants to change it in a big way, he doesn't have to do a big turn. It's just doing a 2mm shift and holding that at that 2mm shift, so a new rut, a new habit, and a new path can be created. So one of the habits that's mentioned in the book is actually setting goals. And the way he explains it is, he says, imagine you have the fastest Ferrari in the world and you're driving around. But if you don't put anything in the GPS, you're driving around aimlessly. So you need to have a goal to know where you're going. And he even says, would you rather drive the Ferrari 200 miles an hour over a cliff or drive a Prius to the promised land? So that's interesting because it gets you to understand that, okay, where are you? Where do you want to go? Set your goal, and then you'll find the proper path to get there. The 7-level deep exercise. In fact, this was my favorite part of the book. And essentially what it is Dean brings in somebody into his company to help them become better. And that person is Joe. So he asks the first question, which is, what is important to you about becoming successful? Dean answers is, he wants to help millions of lives by helping them find the proper path and the proper success habits to get there. And he's like, okay, so why do you want to help millions of lives find them the proper path for their success habits? And then he answers again. And then the question is always why with the previous answer. So why with the previous answer? Why with the previous answer? So he does it a couple of times, and Dean always brings proper, good, logical answers. And then at a certain point, he doesn't know what else to say because it's 7 times. And at the 5th time, he just starts thinking, and then he starts saying something he never thought he would say. And there's a shift that happens. Instead of answering from the logical brain, it's his emotion in his heart that starts answering. And then he realizes that, wait a minute, why am I doing what I'm doing is not necessarily the logical thing that we think. There's another underlying. So he actually puts in the link to go check out the exercise, and I actually did it in myself. And it's very interesting because you do understand, or you do see that, wait a minute, what I thought I was doing something for whatever reason, in fact, it might be different. So it's an interesting thing to go check out. So another part of the book, he talks about get amazing at what you're already good at. And the way Dean explains this is actually a conversation that he had with Dr. Edward Hallowell, which he is an expert in ADD, so attention deficit disorder. So at a certain point of the conversation, Dean asks the doctor, what is ADD exactly? And he's like, this is the best way I could explain it to you. Essentially, people with ADD is like having an extremely fast Ferrari motor, but they have bicycle brakes. He's like, all I do is I teach them how to use the proper brakes and how to control them. And he's like, from there, they become phenomenal because they have so much energy. He's like, wow, that's interesting. And he goes on a bit more and he says, let's take, for example, a kid named Joe, and he goes into the school, and if the teacher asks him to read something, and he sits down, but if that kid is not interested in reading that book, he's not gonna read it, he's gonna be playing with his feet, and he's gonna get up and run around, and then they're gonna think he has other type of problems. But he's like, in fact, only thing I do is I go and I see what that kid likes. And then we work on that and what he's good at. And then by becoming so much better at what he's good at, he has confidence. And by himself, he picks up that book and he starts reading. So that's the example that he gives behind it. To the fact that stop only looking at our weakness. What's your strength? Play on that. Work on that. Develop that. And that's one way that you could go about life, which is amazing. So the last part of the book that I'm going to talk about is the power of happiness. And I love that he talks about this. So he says that usually people say, I'm going to be happy when this, and this happens in my life. For example, when I'm going to get to that financial state of my life, that's when I'll be happy. When I get that car, when I buy that house, when I find my significant other. But in fact, it's the other way around. It's you have to be happy to attract those things. And he even pushes it to the point that he says, the outside things that you get, it's all nice, it's all okay, but it fades. Wealth without fulfillment is actually empty. So all success, all happiness starts within. It's not external. It starts within, and all the things around you will change. So this book has the potential of making you a millionaire. What do I mean by that is, the last page doesn't have a check of $1 million for you waiting. But in fact, there's so many golden nuggets in this book that it's gonna help you become the best version of yourself. And if for you that is to become a millionaire, great. If it's something else, that's great as well. Just understand that it's not a click of a finger thing, it's a long process to get to wherever you're trying to get, if it is to be a millionaire or whatever the case is. My impressions on the book. I loved it. It is a really easy read, and I think it's because actually Dean is dyslexic, so he writes it in such a clear, concise, direct way that it's so easy to pick up. Not only that, he challenges the readers several times during the read in itself. As well, he gets them to do certain exercises. So I definitely suggest you guys to go pick it up. The Amazon link will be down below. If you guys liked the video, please like and subscribe. And I'm gonna leave you off with this. Leaders are readers, and live your life on purpose and with purpose. Peace. Hello guys, thank you very much for watching another video once again. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and share it with all of your friends. If you want to get a more in-depth look into my life, here are some social media platforms that you can do that. And I will see you in the next video.